Hey up. This isn't bad, is it? Friday, and I've moved my sheep today, so I've just been to check on them. This is where I am, look. Top Meadows. So, not Paul Meadows, my mate in Sheffield, Baker, Meadows Baker, this is Top Meadows. Mind you, he's a top meadow and all. One of the nicest kids you could wish to meet, old Paul. So this is where I am. You might be able to see them, they've buggered off. So I was just looking for them. And yesterday when I was up here, there were some deer. So we might catch a glimpse of them. Anyway, look here, look at this, look. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Just picked it up. Look at fossils in that. How beautiful is that? Full of fossils. Unreal, isn't it? Nature's amazing. So, anyway, I wanted to post something. I weren't going to post now, but I wanted to post something because this is a really special occasion for me. It's Friday, I don't know what time it is, but it's turning, it's going dark. I'm about 3 miles from home, maybe just over 3 miles. Quad's parked over there. And I'm by my son. Governor's at home. She'll be doing tea. And I'm totally by myself. Totally by myself. What am I on about, you thinking? For 20 years I've had a phone with me. I've always had phones at night. I've slept with phone, I've been in shower with phone, I've gone out for meals and had phones with me. Because when anybody's ever rung our funeral home after 4:30, I've always answered calls and took calls and messages. And since we sold business, although I hadn't had phones, I've continued to keep phone with me, it's an habit. But about 3 o'clock when I went out moving sheep, I said to Cheryl, I'm going to leave my phone. So I did. I left it. And it's first time that I've ever been out without my phone. I can hear them barking. So it's a bit of a special occasion for me, this. Hope I don't have an heart attack. Bleeding, I never thought of that. I might need a phone. But it's lovely. It's amazing. I'm in the middle of nowhere. And I'm not getting disturbed. Go on, ladies. There you are. You can hear it water, can't you? In the river at bottom. God knows where they are. Anyway, oh hang on. Oh no, thought I saw one. Anyway, here's where I am. Back end of nowhere. All by myself. With no communications to outside world. How mad is this? I love it. I've never been banged up in prison. I've been locked up in cells, but I've never been in prison. But never been charged with out as such. But that feeling what prisoners must have when they stood in front of a door and screw lets them out, says go on, you're free. You know, like Norman Stanley Fletcher on Porridge. That feeling of walking out into fresh air must be something that is you can't put into words. And that's the feeling I've got at the moment. I can't put it into words. how free I feel. I ain't got people ringing me up saying, what about this, what time will you be at house, did you pick my dad up? I ain't got none of that no more. And although I've loved it, don't get me wrong, I feel free. I'm not beholden to anybody. Nobody at all can ask me questions. I love it. I've been at Vatican in Rome because I'm a Catholic, and Cheryl took me there 11 years since on my 50th birthday, and we're walking around Vatican City, and my phone were going all the time, all weekend. You know, families asking me different things, and that's what I was there for. I was a funeral director, so you know, if you're going to moan about it, don't be one. I can hear them birding somewhere. But it's lovely not to have the phones, because we've been old-fashioned undertakers. It's always been me and Cheryl who answers phones in the evening, 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, somebody would say, oh, my dad's died in a care home, or a care home would ring you up and say, you know, we've got someone who's passed away. And it was us who got out of bed and sorted it all out. Amazing. I ain't got that now. Just said a curlew. So I thought, you know what? I got my camera in quad, and then when we got up to Top Meadows, I thought, you know what? I'm going to put a blog on, whatever you call it, where I'm saying to people, I'm out all on me Jack Jones. And you know what? I'm loving it. I'm absolutely bloody loving it. It's as though nobody can touch you. You don't have to have millions of pounds in bank to be happy. You don't need to have that. This makes me happy. Just being away from everybody and everything. And some people's put on social media, nice when you can retire after 20 years. And I've been trolled and I've been hacked, and some of the things that's been put on is vile. Laughing faces on things and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into it because they're not worth getting satisfaction of me even talking about them. Anybody wants to hack my social media account, get a life. But what I will say about that is, rabbit there, look. Is it a rabbit? It's an hare, look. Just going near a tree. It's just going to a tree. There's 2 of them. There's 2 of them, 2 hares. I'll keep quiet and they might come a bit closer. Pissing it down with rain. Anyway, before I forget what I was talking about. Yeah, I have been lucky. I've worked 20 years and I've retired. I'm 61 years old. Somebody had put on a post that, you know, he had to work 40 odd years before he could retire. And I replied to him by saying, what did I put now? I forgot what it were, but I know I'd put something like, you didn't have to, which you didn't. You could have retired 10 years before. But we've paid into a private pension scheme. In fact, we've paid up to ill in a private pension scheme. Although I'll get some out with state, which I'm entitled to because I've paid taxes, I can retire. And most business owners can retire when they're 65 because they've saved the money. And that's what I've done. And that gentleman who put the nice when you can retire after working 21 years, let me just make a point, shall I, that I didn't make on Facebook, if he's watching this. Let me just make one point. You worked probably Monday to Friday, 9 while 5. Get that? 9 while 5, Monday to Friday. In fact, if you work for NHS, you probably work while dinner time on a Friday and then went to them. In fact, a lot of people do. You didn't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, did you, for 20 years? You weren't on holiday with your wife and having phones going and you're sorting things out even while you're on holiday. You didn't do that, did you? No, because it weren't your business. And anybody what does own a business or does work for themselves will know that we don't work Monday to Friday, 9 while 5. We offer, and we did offer, and Michael Fell Funeral Directors still offer, a 24-hour service, 365 days a year. A dedicated service where it doesn't matter what time of day or night it is. It could be 2 o'clock in the morning, it could be Saturday afternoon, it could be bank holiday Monday. It's irrelevant. There's always someone on call. There's always somebody on standby. There's always somebody going to answer that phone. That's what you call dedication. But people will post on social media, he's lucky he's retired at 61. Well, hang on a minute, let's call spade a spade. He's worked 24/7. So if he wants to retire and enjoy life to the full, he will do. And if you want to work 40 years, Monday to Friday, 9 while 5, and don't pay into the system to a private pension scheme, and now you're living on state benefit, that's your doing, isn't it? You know, I don't judge anybody, don't judge me. That's what I think. And if anybody does want to judge me, if anybody wants to put out negative on social media, even on this, do me a favour. If you see out negative, do me one favour. And I'm not going to go on about this because it's not worth it. But ask yourself this question. Evidence. Let's deal with something called evidence. Just because somebody said, because somebody told them, because they'd heard a rumour, because they'd seen it on Facebook, means nothing. If there were one shred of evidence into anything that trolls put on social media, if there were one bit of evidence, do you think it wouldn't have been investigated like that were in Hull? Do you think something would have been done with it like they were in Hull? Of course it would. But it wasn't, because it's an absolute and utter load of bollocks. And some people have so little on their page on social media. I've looked on some of the pages, there's 0 likes, 120 followers. Not 50,000, 120 people. No likes, they put stuff on, nobody likes it. So it's attention. They do it for attention, they want that sympathy off everybody. Oh, you poor sod. Oh, that's horrible. He spoke to you like that. Well, ask him or her to prove it. Why did you carry on with service? Ask them that question. Why did you continue a service? Crazy. But you know what? They can't affect me now, can they? They can't affect me. But look at this. Yeah, weather is shy, but am I bothered? Just look at me. I've got to go home on my quad. Just look at me. Am I bothered? Not one bit. I'm as wet as a prostitute in a brothel. But am I bothered? Not one bit. And do you know why? Because I'm free. And that's the most amazing feeling on this planet. Especially when you've worked all your life from being 16, when you hadn't had time off work. In the 20 years that I had a funeral home, I never once, not once, had a day off sick. I broke my arm, I fell off a ladder one Saturday painting bearer's room. Monday morning I'm on service with a broken arm. I never once had a day off work. Why not? Because I give a commitment to families. And yes, some families abuse that commitment, they abuse that, what we give them, by thinking that they could have compensation. That's the key to it all, innit? Compensation. I'm not going to find them, am I? Anyway, if my team's watching, which I know they do, thank you. To each and every one in you. They're not my team now. They're Tommy's team. But they still feel like family, each and every one of them. I want to thank you all for watching the vlog, and I'll catch you all later. Look after yourselves. I'll post this in a bit when I get back home. Look after your ta-ra.